Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no. So I watch Kylie Cantrell every morning on social media. Her videos are absolutely incredible from the Worlds Collide Tour. The performance level that Kylie Cantrell is at is unlike anything that I've ever witnessed in my life. And I've seen everything as a podcast host. I've been on YouTube for a very long time, but I've never seen somebody so dedicated to what she does, so powerful as Kylie Cantrell. And I think if there ever was an inspiration of this new generation of Disney and this Disney revolution that we are part of now, it's Kylie Cantrell. You know, I've often compared her to Hannah Montana of years gone by, and I mean it. Kylie Cantrell is the Hannah Montana of the new generation. She is a superstar, and it's beyond me why so many people are jumping down her throat with criticism. I guess it's because of jealousy, and that has everything to do with why Kylie Cantrell is being talked about the way she is. I mean, for the fans out there who support Kylie Cantrell, I want to say thank you so much for never ever quitting on who and what you believe in, because Kylie Cantrell is in the position now because of you that she's in. It's just the critics that I have the issue with, always jumping down her throat for various reasons. I don't know why. It's almost like they try to find something negative to talk about when it comes to Kylie Cantrell. Everything from her friendship with Malia Baker to her music to her performance as Red in Descendants. I mean, she felt so honored to don the role of Red in Descendants, and I think that she's received her fair share of criticism, and I just wanted to put a stop to that. So that's why I started creating a bunch of Kylie Cantrell videos a couple of months back on this YouTube channel, because I wanted to be supportive of Kylie Cantrell, to let her know that the support was here for her and the support was here for Descendants fans, because I know that Descendants fans and Zombies fans have received their fair share of criticism, and I just wanted to put a stop to that. I wanted to let you guys know that being a fan of Descendants and Zombies, there was nothing wrong with that, and I'm cool with you guys. I really am. I'm really excited about Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland next summer. I'm really excited about Zombies 5 in 2028, although 2028 seems like a really long way away. But we'll get there. And even if I have to, I'll create a bunch of Descendants and Zombies videos every day until Zombies 5 is released, because I'm really excited about Zombies 5. I think Zombies 5 is going to be one of the best movies that we have ever seen, and there's going to be a lot of PR for Zombies 5 by the time it happens. People are already talking about Zombies and offering their speculations on what is inside of that vortex, and I think adding a vortex into the storyline makes for an unpredictable time for all Zombies fans, and no better time to become a fan of the Zombies franchise. I think we have more fans than ever, fans of Descendants and Zombies now, because of everything that's happened. I mean, years ago, the Descendants and Zombies scripts were beyond amazing, and they're still amazing. They're even better now, because we have new characters, we have new storylines, we have suggestions for predictions already being made early on for Zombies 5, which makes it a fun time to be a fan of these two franchises. And I think more fans than ever before have become fans of Zombies. And the cool thing is that people are being reintroduced to the original cast of Descendants from years ago, like Dove Cameron and Sophia Carson. They're not only just becoming fans of, say, Kylie Cantrell, Malia Baker, Ruby Rose Turner, they're also reintroducing themselves to the older aspects of Descendants, which is really cool to know that you not only want to see Descendants for what it is now and the value of it now and appreciate it for what it is and what it's become, but you also want to see it for what it was a decade ago. And it's really hard to believe, you know, that it's been 10 years since Descendants premiered. After a 5-year hiatus, here comes Kylie Cantrell, Malia Baker, Ruby Rose Turner, and they do such a fabulous job bringing this to life in a way that I don't think any other cast members would have been able to do it. I think that had a lot to do with the profound friendships of Kylie Cantrell, Malia Baker, and Ruby Rose Turner, because it's of extreme rarity that Disney would actually put you on the set of a movie knowing about your friendship, like we saw years ago with Miley Cyrus and Emily Osment, per se. I mean, they never ever saw eye to eye from one minute to the next. They were always down each other's throats, in each other's faces, always having issues with each other. And then, of course, years later, we see these powerful casts for the first time ever actually having friendships off of the set of Descendants and Zombies, which really adds to profound success, in all honesty, because a lot of the time Disney would put you on the set of a TV show like Hannah Montana years ago, and you would know nothing about each other. You would meet each other for the first time, and it would be years later before you would actually develop chemistry between each other. I remember years ago when Miley Cyrus and Emily Osment were put together on the set of Hannah Montana, and they couldn't stand each other. The producers used to tell them they had to get it together to make Hannah Montana a profound success. And it wasn't until Hannah Montana, the movie, was shot in Tennessee, that Miley Cyrus and Emily Osment reached a mutual understanding for what each other wanted to get the most out of their Hannah Montana and Disney experiences. And I think they're still haunted by that, because we don't really see Miley Cyrus and Emily Osment really hitting it off or talking a whole lot like we see for a lot of reunions like Good Luck Charlie. a couple of years ago. I would venture to say that in years to come, we're going to be seeing a reunion of the Hannah Montana cast. I really believe that the Descendants cast, rather. I think in years to come, we're going to be seeing a reunion of the Descendants cast, because if we can see reunions of Hannah Montana being talked about, if we can see reunions of the Good Luck Charlie, I think we'll see something done along those lines, and I think that we'll see Ruby Rose Turner return for the reunion of Descendants, because I think her time with Descendants was very short-lived, and every day of my life, I'm heartbroken over the idea of Ruby Rose Turner parting ways with the Descendants franchise. When the announcement first broke of Ruby being a part of the Descendants franchise just last year, I was so excited about it. And I was so excited for Ruby because this was the biggest opportunity Ruby had ever been given. But one thing I noticed about a lot of the interviews that people did for PR for Descendants is even Kylie Cantrell described Descendants as an indie film. I mean, why would you describe Descendants as an indie film? Sure, it's a movie that gets your career started, and it was the first opportunity Sophia Carson ever had years ago and Dove Cameron to really explode. But I think that Descendants goes way beyond being an indie film. I think that's really lackluster and not really showing Descendants the respect it deserves. Even the cast members of Descendants are referring to it as an indie film. Sure, it's a get-go. It's a start for their careers, but I think this is an opportunity that I think that a lot of them probably wished years ago they would have had, and now they're just kind of realizing and putting into perspective that this is really happening for them. But referring to it as an indie film is not really showing it the respect it deserves. I think that, yes, I agree with the producers and the writers that there could be a bigger budget allocated for this, and they are very limited on what they can do and the resources. But I think that with Disney realizing, how much potential exists with Descendants of Zombies, I think bigger budgets could be allocated for Descendants of Zombies movies, especially with how many people love the franchise. I mean, I just spoke on millions of people, 781 million hours of stream time for Descendants on Disney+, 250 million hours of stream time for Zombies, with Zombies coming right behind it, and Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, was actually the #1 movie for Disney+, right after it premiered on that night, had millions of streams, and days after, millions of streams, so it went to #1 instantly. And everybody's been talking about Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires ever since, because they're speculating on what's next, what's going to be in the next chapter, what's going to be inside of that vortex. I, for one, would love to encounter a vortex. I have never encountered a vortex on all my boating excursions over the years, but I would love to, because I'd love to find out what was inside of that vortex. And to be honest with each and every one of you, I would go for mermaids. I would really settle for mermaids settling in Seabrook, because I think it provides us with a very unpredictable storyline, and something 3 or 4 years ago when Zombies first kicked off, we never ever thought possible. I mean, I'm going to be honest with each and every one of you. I love stories about mermaids. I've read so many novels over the years about mermaids, and I've been very fond of them, but I never ever thought 3 and 4 years ago when Zombies first premiered and kicked off that we would be at a point where we'd be discussing mermaids entering the franchise. But I think this is the first franchise where actual things like mermaids and sirens have actually been suggested, because never before in vampire TV shows like The Vampire Diaries and even Buffy, mermaids were ever suggested, because I think 15 years ago, the thought of mermaids being involved in a story having everything to do with vampires and werewolves would have been just complete nonsense and would have been just complete bogus. But I think with this new generation of Disney fans, I think that it fits very appropriately with the whole idea of zombies and werewolves, and it looks really cool. I really do like the teaser trailers. I can't lie. I'm really excited to see where we go from here, what the names of the mermaids will be, how they will settle in Seabrook. Obviously, they'll have a human form. Obviously, it'll be something like when they step out of the water, they'll turn into humans, or whatever. When they come in contact with water, they'll transform back into mermaids. I think that there's going to have to be a lot of CGI with this movie, so I think the budget is going to have to be significantly higher, because you can't have mermaids being involved in the Zombies franchise with a lot of CGI, because mermaids have always been very mysterious creatures and always had a history with underwater activities. So we're going to be seeing a lot of CGI stuff, and we're going to be seeing a lot of mystery incorporated into this, because sometimes mermaids are often very devious, and when you least expect it, they can turn on a dime. So it makes for this story to be very, very interesting, and there's a lot of history that goes with vampires and mermaids. I really love how all these supernatural creatures are coming together for one big theatrical performance. I really do love how not just vampires are being discussed, but we also have werewolves and aliens. I mean, mean, people have been trying to get abducted by aliens for years. You know, actually, if you do your research on social media, there are a lot of people that post videos on social media every day with their theories about alien abductions in them. And I actually have developed an addiction to watching this kind of stuff because it's really interesting to hear people's encounters with aliens, because there are people out there that actually believe they've encountered it in their dreams, or they've actually come in contact with aliens after trying to be abducted. It's an everyday occurrence, and it's really interesting, the theories on social media. Actually, I'm really supportive of this kind of thing because I really love reading about mysteries and how people have different theories on this kind of thing, and I think Disney is drawing inspiration from all the stuff that's being posted on social media about this kind of thing. And the thing I notice about the cast too is the cast are very appreciative of the fans. They are very appreciative of the honor of being a part of the Zombies franchise, and the music is just beautiful. I love the chemistry between Malachi Burton and Freya Skye. I love the chemistry between Milo Manheim and Meg Donnelly and their friendship. Very emotional for Meg Donnelly. I showed a lot of interviews yesterday and reaction videos on this YouTube channel about Meg Donnelly's feelings about zombies and being a part of it. I think this will forever and always hold a special place in Meg Donnelly's heart. I mean, Zombies gets her every single time, and there's never a time that Meg does PR that she's never emotional about Zombies. I don't think Meg ever wanted to say goodbye. So to close the door on Meg Donnelly and Milo Manheim reprising the roles in cameos, they're not officially shutting the door completely on this kind of thing. They're really excited to be behind the camera for Zombies 5, so there's going to be a lot of creative direction offered to the Zombies franchise, and I, for one, am really excited about that. I think I'm a bigger fan of Zombies than I ever was anything Disney did. When I first heard about the script, I knew it was going to be something special. I knew it was going to captivate millions of people, and so too did it captivate millions of people, because people are already comparing it to Wicked. People are already comparing it to the Descendants franchise, saying it's ultimately better than the Descendants because of how unpredictable it is. And that argument being presented is a justifiable argument, because it really is more unpredictable than the Descendants, because I think the Descendants script is very obvious. You know, you almost know what's going to happen from one moment to the next, and I really, I don't really like how you can pretty much decipher what's going to happen from script to script. I think that if you turn it around and make it more unpredictable like you have for Zombies, I mean, we never ever thought that Addison would be the embodiment of a werewolf. We never ever thought that she would be the embodiment of an alien, have history with that. But I really appreciated that, because while she was trying to figure out who she was and her true identity, we saw the embodiment of every single character, with the exception of a vampire, which was something I was holding on to. The hopes were happening in Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires, which we never saw transpire, but I mean, who's to say we won't get to that point where we'll see Milo Manheim and Meg Donnelly resurface in Zombies? But I think right now, they're more happier than they've ever been being producers of the Zombies franchise, and as long as it exists, I think they're going to have something to do with it, because you just can't walk away from something that's been a part of your life for what feels like forever. I've seen it so many times where people have tried to walk away, and then years later they return, and they're happier than ever to be a part of something that held a special place in their hearts, and it's undeniable that Zombies will forever and always not only hold a special place in the hearts of the actors and the actresses who made it happen, but for all of us who really made it happen, because when you think about it, the fan support and the response is really what it comes down to. I mean, at these conventions where people expected 50 people to show up, hundreds of people showed up for Zombies and Descendants. So it definitely blew the expectations of the minds of everybody who was a part of it. And I think that this is history that we are a part of, and I'm really excited to be a part of history. In the very near future, I think Zombies and Descendants is going to be one of the all-time conversations that always comes up at the D23 conventions. It's really cool seeing the behind-the-scenes footage that everybody throws up on their Facebook fan pages of Descendants and Zombies, and Disney's always throwing up something for behind the scenes. So the PR, as it gets closer to Descendants 5 and Zombies 5, is going to be really interesting. Obviously, the writers and producers know what direction they are taking the franchise in, and there's a lot of keeping it secretive because they don't want anything leaked. But I really appreciate reading on the discussion forums what you guys think is going to happen in the Zombies franchise, because there is still a long way to go with the Zombies franchise. There is still a long way to go with Descendants, with all these new characters coming in. Of course, we have the premiere of the Pink character portrayed by Liamani Segura, who I'm a huge fan of. Her resume definitely speaks for itself, and I'm excited to meet her next summer for all the conflict that she will present in the Descendants franchise. I think this is the first time ever a plot like this has been presented for Descendants, because we've never ever seen sisters have some kind of controversy in Descendants. So I think that it's going to create new storylines, and as I've mentioned many times before, I think it's setting up for the torch to be passed from Kylie Cantrell's character to Liamani Segura's character, so we could have more storylines created and more of a suspenseful atmosphere, I think, for Descendants, because I think we've been waiting on this for a very long time. Because you think back to the script of the original Descendants, it pretty much just focused on Mal and Ben's relationship, and then by Descendants 4, it focused on the characters individually and their friendships, like Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker's friendship, which was not only highlighted on Descendants and its profound success, but also in real life. So it was a real added bonus when we had not only just friends on the set of Descendants, but also off of Descendants, and they were always hanging out, they were getting to know each other, and they became such great friends, which oftentimes are given Descendants fans credit for, because some of the most beautiful friendships ever have been derived from Descendants, and of course the popularity of the franchise. You know, people are friends for the rest of their lives, because of course they really touched each other's hearts for being fans of Descendants. And I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be you. I know what it's like to be a fan of Descendants and zombies and be so excited for the premiere of a movie. I know what it's like, and it's such an amazing feeling. It really touches your heart in so many unbelievable ways, no matter if you're talking about the script, no matter if you're talking about the music. I mean, there are so many different aspects of Descendants and zombies, which I think a lot of people, tend to forget about. But I think that Descendants and Zombies is going to be one of these franchises that is revered. And what I mean by revered is it's not just going to disappear and vanish. It's going to be something that's going to really stand the test of time and remain in the annals of time for forever. And I'm really excited to see where we go from here. I honestly am, because I think there is so much of an opportunity to create. I think there is so much talent on the cast of both Descendants and Zombies, and I think that the possibilities are really endless. There is so much of an opportunity to introduce new characters, new storylines, new plots, and I think we could see up to 10 Descendants or Zombies movies, honestly. And I think that's what fans are really going for with Descendants and Zombies, is that they want to see up to 10 movies in a franchise that never ever ends. And I would go for that. You know, if I could sit on this podcast every morning of my life for the rest of my life talking about Descendants and Zombies, I would have no issues with that. I think there are a lot of people that criticize Descendants and Zombies because of the jealousy that exists about Descendants and Zombies and its profound success, because every day people are uploading videos on YouTube about Descendants and Zombies, and they can't say anything good about it. I'm probably the only podcast host that says anything good about Descendants and Zombies, but I do it because I love Descendants and Zombies so much. I think it's a passion. I just don't think it's a movie that we're interested in. I think it's a passion that exists inside of our hearts that we never ever want to let go of. I mean, from the very first moment that I saw the very first Descendants movie, and that was all the way back in 2015, I knew it was going to be something special. I knew from the beginning it was going to be something special. I mean, the story between Mal and Ben was very interesting. Dove Cameron and Mitchell Hope's chemistry, off the charts, and I think the chemistry between Sophia Carson and Dove Cameron and their friendship really blew this one out of proportion. And then years later, after a 5-year hiatus, here come Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker doing a fabulous job carrying on with the legacy of Descendants, something they watched ever since 9 years old. And I mean, just think about the pressure when the cameras are on for Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker to really bring the best out of themselves and these characters, because nobody ever thought they were going to be able to do it. But they did such a fabulous job. That's the thing. And I think that a profound amount of credit is deserving of Kylie Cantrell and Malia Baker. And I think people realize that, but I think there's also a lot of jealousy that exists in a lot of people's hearts about Descendants and Zombies, because we do have haters out there of Descendants and Zombies, but for every single person who has admitted to hating the Descendants franchise, there are more people out there that love it so much, that wait on these videos to be uploaded every single day, who love to give their opinion on Descendants and Zombies. I mean, when you guys showed up at the Worlds Collide Tour, you really did show up. And you showed up in support of your favorite stars, which is something I can never give you a profound amount of credit for, because while people criticize the Descendants and Zombies universe, you guys are forever supportive of it, and you've been supportive of me. From the very first video that was uploaded on this YouTube channel, you guys fell in love with my YouTube channel. You've been subscribing ever since. You've been waiting on videos. You've been holding on to a dream, and I can't thank you enough for that, because while other people choose to let go of this dream, you guys have been holding on for forever. Some of the very first subscribers that I've ever had on this YouTube channel are still here. And I can't say thank you enough for all the love and support you've shown this YouTube channel, because without you, none of this would be happening for me this morning. I wouldn't even be here this morning, because 7.5 years ago, I thought I had recorded what I had believed was my final podcast, but you guys brought me back from seemingly out of obscurity, and I'm more popular than ever now because of my opinions on Descendants and Zombies. I will always be here for the fans of Descendants and Zombies, offering you an incredible amount of support, just to let you know that being a fan of Descendants and Zombies is cool. I've always been a fan of Descendants and Zombies. I've always been a fan of Dove Cameron, going all the way back to her days on Liv and Maddie. I loved her on Cloud 9 as Kayla Morgan. So this has been a passion for me, and it's been an honor to be able to sit in front of this podcast microphone every single morning and talk about Descendants and Zombies for how I believe it's meant to be presented. Because I think that when you're talking about content such as Descendants and Zombies, you have to have a profound amount of respect, not only for the characters and the plot, but also for the fans, because the fans really understand so much about Descendants and Zombies and more than they are ever given credit for, because you guys are some of the smartest fans in the world, and you know what you want, you know what you like, you know what's up, and if somebody is politically incorrect about Descendants and Zombies, you're going to let them know how you feel. So the thing is, it really is an honor for me to sit behind this podcast microphone every day of my life, even if it is for the rest of my life, talking about Descendants and Zombies, because I think you can never say enough good things about these two franchises. And I was a really big fan of Vampire TV years ago. Vampire Diaries, True Blood, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I watched it all. Either I watched it or I had something to do with it. And it was a real honor for me having the chance to sit behind this podcast microphone for whatever niches I was providing commentary for. But I can never remember having this much fun talking about a specific niche. So I just want to say thank you from my heart to yours for allowing me the opportunity and giving me the chance to be heard about Descendants and Zombies, because I never ever thought my voice would be ever heard again. I know I sit on this podcast microphone every morning of my life with a Mickey Mouse tea mug, and I drink herbal tea and put together my thoughts on Descendants and Zombies, but I think never enough good things can be said about it. So I just want to say thank you, and as long as we are fans of Descendants and Zombies, as long as we are here because of Descendants and Zombies, I will forever be supportive of each and every one of you. I will forever create beautiful podcasts about Descendants and Zombies for you, because I think this has been a long time coming, and it's long overdue that we show the respect for fans of Descendants and Zombies. So how this show works, for those of you who are new here, later on this afternoon, I will be posting another video, a second video on Descendants and Zombies, and just before sunset tonight, I will post a third video on Descendants and Zombies. I have a red carpet premiere to attend later on this afternoon. I'm going to the weapons premiere, so I've got a lot of stuff going on, but that will not get in the way of these videos. I love going to red carpet premieres for movies, so I'll be attending one later on this afternoon, but I will be discussing Descendants and Zombies more later on this afternoon with reaction videos and what have you. So I invite you to join me for that. I have so much fun creating these videos, and this really was a chance for me to really revitalize my career, I guess is the best way of putting it, because revitalizing a career is of extreme rarity for a lot of people. But the amount of support that you guys have shown this YouTube channel, unlike anything that I've ever experienced in my life. And I just want to say thank you so much for all the love that you've shown me, because I never thought this YouTube channel would see 500 subscribers, and now I'm sitting here with almost 3,000 people. More people subscribed last night. The subscribers are always going up. More fans are joining in on the conversation about Descendants and Zombies, and I think that's really cool. The amount of support that you guys have shown this YouTube channel, unbelievable, and it never ceases to amaze me. And I just want to say, man, you guys are the greatest fans in the world. If I have 3,000 fans subscribe to this YouTube channel, you're the best fans in the world. Because I don't know where I'd be without you. Your amount of love and support that you've shown this YouTube channel, it blows my mind every single time. And I just want to say thank you so much for being here and allowing me the opportunity to have come into your life as your voice of Descendants and Zombies, and being your voice, because your voice deserves to be heard. You know, God gave us all voices for a reason. It was to be heard. And I think that more people are having their opinions heard about Descendants and Zombies and discussed more than ever before. And that's amazing. That's incredible. So I will be back later on this afternoon with another great reaction video for you guys. I'm going to try to do as many reaction videos as I possibly can. I'm also going to be taking a look at a lot of the retro aspects of Descendants and Zombies and take a look at very historical moments for both franchises. So it's not just talking about, say, Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, or Descendants 5 next summer. I take a look at everything Descendants and Zombies for you on this channel. So if you're looking for a channel devoted to Descendants and Zombies, and this is your place. This is where you have to stay. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. So I've got a lot to say about Descendants and Zombies and where the franchises go, and I'm really excited about the future of Descendants and Zombies and what it has in store for everybody, because I really think that these franchises still have a long way to go, and their story is really far from over. This story is far from over, which is why I don't think we should really buy into the whole idea and concept of how they need to stop making Descendants and Zombies movies. Don't ever believe that. I'm going to help you make sense of the Descendants and Zombies franchises. That's why I'm here, and we're going to have a whole lot of fun doing that, because I think you've deserved this for a very long time. I am your host of Descendants and Zombies. I am your voice of Descendants and Zombies, and I will forever and always be here in support of every single person who ever proudly said they were a fan of Descendants and Zombies, because you at least deserve that much in your own life, and I just want to be that guy to give that to you. If you have not hit the subscribe and the like buttons, you're probably going to want to do that, because magic is real. The chances of happily ever after existing are more real than ever before, and I think that everybody has a chance of finding true love, and I will help you believe that more than you've ever believed it before in your life. I have so much fun talking about Descendants and Zombies, and I look forward to talking to you and chatting with you today on this show. So if you have not subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe and the like buttons. We're going to have a whole lot of fun. Be kind to one another. I will be back in just a few hours from now with another great show. Until then, be kind to each other. Keep kindness in your heart, as I will keep you in mind, and we will talk again in just a few hours from now.